What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Blazers Uprise Live, presented by Sleeper. Today, we have a couple of streams for you on the eve of the Blazers season. Today was NBA tip-off. We had 2 games today, but we're not going to talk about those. We're going to be talking about some fun Blazers news that broke over the weekend. We're going to get Eric's thoughts on the contract extensions for Toumani, Camara, and Shaedon Sharpe. And then after the stream, we'll boot up another stream. We'll make our NBA predictions, so stick around for that. Chat, you will make predictions. You'll get Eric's predictions, my predictions, everybody's predictions, our mods. We're going to be having my guy Muvsy, who's helping out the channel this season, making his predictions as well. He runs an NBA channel, Muvsy Hoops. So check him out. But yeah, we're going to be making predictions after this. Eric will be around for this stream. He wants to give his thoughts on the extensions, and then it'll just be me. Maybe I'll see if Muvsy's around and wants to hop on the prediction stream. But Eric, what's going on, man? How you doing? How was your weekend?
Oh, it's good. Yeah. Sorry about your loss yesterday.
Worst loss of my life.
Yeah.
I'm still grieving.
Yeah, I'm not even a Mariners fan, and that seemed pretty painful. Yeah. We won't get into it too much, but
it was worse than the Niners losing the Super Bowl, man. I didn't expect that. It was. I grew a like really personal. I mean, not even a personal connection, but I felt like more personally connected to that Mariners team than really any other team I've ever really been a fan of. So, really easy team to root for, and just sucks that they blew it. Sucks that they choked. It was very unfortunate.
Yeah, I imagine that was similar to game you weren't around for, or wouldn't remember if you were. The 2000 Western Conference Finals for the Blazers, blowing that fourth quarter lead against the Lakers. Very similar, with the 3-1 lead.
Yeah, it's rough. I'm now 0-15 on championships when my teams are one of the final 4 teams remaining. So honestly, at this point, let's just see how high we can make that number. At this point, right? Like maybe the Blazers can get in on.
I may be happy if they got there sometime soon.
Yeah, I mean, making the World Series would have been like winning a championship, essentially, to be like. But yeah, we were close, and we found a way to screw it up. So yeah, I'm still extremely salty, and I'm taking it harder than I've taken any other loss. So yeah, but happy that the Blazers game is happening tomorrow. I will be at that game, so the post-game show will be going live like 30 minutes afterwards. But I'll boot up. I'll get a stream link ready right around the end of the game. I'll have Muvsy help out with that, and yeah, so you guys can join the chat, and we'll get things rolling as soon as we can tomorrow night. But at least we had some fun news over the weekend with the extensions, huh?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so oops, Mike, please don't make that noise. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I don't. Okay. Yeah, I want to hear your thoughts. So, I mean, like, everybody's panning it as a slam dunk. I mean, I also think it's kind of a slam dunk. What were your thoughts on both the extensions, as they're properly called, both the extensions the Blazers had this weekend for Shaedon Sharpe and Toumani Camara?
Well, first, let me just say 2 things before I get into a little bit more detailed. One, let's effing go. Like, yes, awesome. I was so happy to see both of them locked up for 4 years. Looks like there's no options on either contract. So I feel like they're both really good value. And I'll discuss that more. I do have to say, so obviously whenever there's a move by the Blazers, we inevitably get the "you guys owe Joe Cronin an apology" or whatever type tweets or comments towards us. And let me just, I think I've been very consistent throughout the years of Blazers Uprise with this, but let me just break down how like I kind of judge value or who I attribute certain things to, or who I give credit to. And so for one, we have trades, right? And trades, there's of course exceptions to some of these, but trades would mostly fall on the general manager. And so the general manager will be judged by those trades. Now, there's a few trades, in the past few years since Joe took over that you could maybe claim some other influences, maybe Burt Cold or someone like that had some things to do with. But for the most part, the GM is responsible for trades, right? Draft picks, in my mind, ultimately comes back to the GM. So those two things, he either gets credit or blame for how those two things work out. When it comes to free agent signings, if there is a bad signing or an overpay, a severe overpay, Evan Turner, type signing, to me, that reflects poorly on the general manager in that situation. And then when it comes to re-signing your own free agents, it also reflects poorly if it's deemed an overpay. So like Jerami Grant type contract, Myers Leonard, those type of contracts. I'm going to judge the GM poorly on those. Now, when it comes to contracts that seemingly are good value, or you're kind of surprised that a player took what was maybe a hometown discount, it's a little more murky to me. So, like, yes, Joe Cronin deserves some credit for this, but I also think when players sign for less than expected, it also has to do with the culture, which could be partly Joe Cronin. That's also the coaching staff and the organization. So those things help. But it ultimately came down to me for this situation that, especially in Shaedon Sharpe's circumstance, that he chose to take a less now than to bet on himself and move forward. And Joe Cronin offered that contract. We heard a couple weeks ago that he offered that amount. I'm actually surprised that it didn't get negotiated up at all from that. And so, in my opinion, I feel like, yes, Joe Cronin deserves some respect here. He was the one who drafted Sharpe and traded for Camara. He's the one who got them on these really good deals. But like, to me, the credit for these goes to Toumani. Camara took a little less than what he could have gotten. Now, it probably didn't make sense for him to hold out for $5 million more. But so that was pretty much a no-brainer. It was close to the max that Joe could offer. And so I don't think that one necessarily is like, oh my God, these people deserve all the credit. Like, it's just, that was a good contract on both sides, and it was close to what the max we could offer. And I think we all could agree it was pretty good. A pretty good contract. Shaedon Sharpe, on the other hand, could have gotten up to a max contract offer. And so I am a little surprised that he chose to accept that. Now, the new CBA, we can probably dive into that with what happened to some restricted free agents this summer and having to accept qualifying offers or not getting near as much as they were expecting to get or hoping to get. So in my mind, the Shaedon Sharpe contract is, I mean, yes, Cronin deserves credit for offering it to him. But ultimately, I think I have to give credit to Sharpe for taking that contract and not trying to play out the year or not trying to hold out for more value than that. And so ultimately, look, I get this comment, no matter what Cronin does, someone ever like it. What the hell are you talking about, Gregory? You always do this.
I don't want this to turn to a stream where you go back and forth with Gregory. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, man.
Well, let me just finish this real quick. I'm just saying, I like what Cronin did. I'm glad he re-signed those guys. Good job. That's it's good.
Yeah, he's going into how he evaluates GM. It's not even a criticism. Here's the conversation around Joe Cronin is just so freaking ridiculous all the time, and I don't even like to have it anymore. I don't like to talk about Joe Cronin anymore. I will sit here and say good job, Blazers, because here's the thing. If Cronin makes great moves for a year, great. That doesn't mean that if you criticized him for making bad moves in the past, all of a sudden those criticisms were invalid. You're talking about completely different things. Talking about what he did in 2021, if he did, or 2022, if he made bad moves in 2022, and you called him out, just because he does good moves now doesn't mean you need to apologize for calling out the moves in 2022. You're literally having different conversations. And every time this organization does something that's obviously good, there's just always this cult-like following, like, see, you now have to apologize him, and I need to hear you say, good job, Cronin. It's just like, what the hell are we doing, man? Like, it's so ridiculous. It's 2 good contract extensions. It's good deals for the Blazers. And especially when you look at, money that Keegan Murray got, right? I'm not the biggest Keegan Murray fan. And some other guys got. Like, it's obviously a great deal. And we all are in agreement on that. At the end of the day, it doesn't mean that everything he does is great now or everything he did in the past is great now. And if that's where you want to take the conversation, then I think you're just trying to fanboy a little bit too hard for him. And guess what? I'm not just going to sit here and fanboy like I'm a part of the crony cult. All right? I like a lot of the moves that he's made in the past year. I like the Avdija trade. I've come around to the Young pick. I like that he made amends with Dame. And every step along the way, I've sat here and said, I like this. I understand the Drew Holiday trade, even though it was a bit questionable. There's upside and downsides, and I was looking at both of those. And I was sitting there on stream talking about both the upsides and the downsides of this. But oh my goodness, this dude has been GM for 4 years, right? Or like almost 4 years at this point. The team has yet to win a single play-in game, and 20 out of 30 teams make the play-in. And I understand it's a rebuild, right? So being patient, that's fine. Like, that shouldn't necessarily be the barometer. But my goodness, can we stop trying to champion a dude no matter what and call people out for needing to apologize to him? Can we stop doing all this stuff before they have yet to even win a single play-in game, let alone playoff game? I mean, my goodness. So we can sit here and say, yeah, good extensions. The conversation just shouldn't even be about more than that, honestly, but people always take it there. So, now I need to apologize to Cronin. I'm a crony now. Like, what? It's just childish to me. So that's why I don't like to have this conversation anymore. I'm just at this point gonna evaluate every move as in kind of a vacuum for that reason, because my goodness, I've never seen people fan over a front office executive in any sport like what's happened with the Blazers. And if they're winning championships, okay, fine, I could get behind that. But we're still not even close. So let's get there before we act this way about a front office executive.
For those that don't know, speaking of Keegan Murray, Torrey single-handedly reignited the Blazers Kings beef on Twitter. Now Kings fans hate Blazer fans again.
Beautiful. I mean, those some of the dumbest arguments I've ever heard, man. That was ridiculous. Because I said Toumani's better than Keegan. Toumani's better than Keegan, which I think outside of Kings fans, most people would agree with that. I mean, Toumani shot 37%. From 3 last season, Keegan shot 34. Toumani was all defensive second team. Keegan was not. I had Kings fans try to tell me, Keegan has a much bigger role on his team's defense than Toumani Camara does because he doesn't have good defenders around him. And it's like, that doesn't define his role. They both do the same things defensively. Like, they both guard the best players. Toumani has even more impact, in my opinion. It's not like Toumani's role is much more important because if his teammates suck. So that was a fun little Twitter debate. This is why you got to follow me on Twitter, so that when I piss off a whole fan base, you can see it for yourself, because it's something to behold.
Yep. And just get a couple of messages. Jakob had one, Norwegian Krone, 50 Norwegian Krones. Tori chilling on NASCAR 25. You've been playing a lot of that lately, huh?
Yeah, when the Mariners lose, I try and when I'm depressed, I try and distract myself. So, last couple nights I've been hopping on NASCAR 25. I found a Caleb Love 24. Caleb Love is 24 years old. I don't think that's actually Caleb Love, but I thought that was funny. And I found a dude with the username of Maxi Kleba. So,
You're
who
playing
knows?
NASCAR with some NBA dudes.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe I'll find DeAndre Ayton because we know that dude loves video games.
And thanks to Adam for going back to starter membership, and then Smog with a 57-month member message. I feel like a kid the night before Christmas. We'll get into the season here in a minute. But yeah, I was getting a little worried, with 1 day left until the extension deadline. That I didn't know what Sharpe was going to do. I felt pretty confident. The team had several different options with Toumani. They could have played out the year and let him become a restricted free agent next year, or they could have let him play out 2 seasons and let him become an unrestricted free agent in 2 years, but have him be dirt cheap the next 2 years. Or they could do what they did, and that's just lock it up now. And I thought, getting him locked up for 4 years, right in that a little over $20 million range. I feel like that was a really smart move. And, Denny still has 3 years left on his contract extension. He signed with the Wizards. So we basically have our starting forwards locked up for at least 3 more years. And between them making, about $35 million. So that's great value in my opinion. So I'm really happy for that. Peter Hollins with a 50-month message saying 50 months, woo, here's to another 50. Thank you, Peter. Good to see you in here. And then maybe not did a Blazers Uprise gift membership, and it went to Austin Hazeman.
Congratulations, Austin. Thank you for the
And I don't know why Austin has – that's weird.
What?
So it gives him the gift membership and puts his username, but when he types in chat, it has his other.
I don't know.
YouTube
needs to give us. They just need to give us the option, man.
Yeah.
Like that should be something that I can toggle. Absolutely. By the way, we're gonna do a prediction stream after this, so stick around.
Yeah. Right.
We got more gift. Yeah. Shout out to Yakov. Yakov is our Santa Claus, always gifting the memberships. Yakov, we're gonna have to run that NASCAR game. Shout out to Yakov. He's a NASCAR fan like me.
Those went to Matt, Aaron, Setzer, Brandon Lee, and Danny P. Congratulations, everyone. Thank you for doing that.
Congratulations to you guys. So here's the thing. Every time the Blazers make a move where they have a good contract, it's a good thing. It also makes me think about how it should be an even better thing if we didn't have Jerami Grant's contract. And I know, that's looking at the good and the bad, but it's looking at the total picture, right? Every time the Blazers do something good contractually, like sign these extensions in the future, Jerami Grant's contract becomes more of an opportunity cost. It's costing you who knows what opportunity, but the Blazers with their young core locked in with the contract that Dame's on, that Denny's on, the contracts that Sharpe and Toumani are on, and then everybody else is like rookie contracts. They should have an obscene amount of flexibility for having that robust of a core locked into place. Even with Drew Holiday's contract on the books, right? Which they willingly took on.
Yeah, no max.
Yeah. But you have Jerami Grant's contract that eats into any opportunity you could have with that flexibility, and it's a bummer. It's a bummer. And every time they make a good move, it becomes even more of a bummer that they can't further capitalize on the good moves they're making because they're stuck with Jerami Grant's contract. So it kind of goes hand in hand, you can't ignore that the books could be in a great place, and a lot of things are lined up in a great place, and then you just have this anchor that is potentially costing them opportunities to really capitalize on the contracts, the good contracts that they have. Yeah.
Yeah, I just sorry, kids are being loud. The man, no respect.
They better get
no,
used to you being in season mode, and the
I
season
know.
starts tomorrow.
No, dude, he should be in bed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, most of the streams are past bedtime, so we're good. Anyways, yeah, I mean, it is frustrating. It is nice that the Blazers don't have any max contracts. You still got 3 years for Drew and Jerami. They might have to find a way to do that, but I think right now, with the other news today, which we'll get into in a minute, I think it's fine. I do agree though. Like if you're sitting here with this core locked up and could make a huge move using cap space, either for a free agent or a lopsided trade where you wouldn't have to give up much to do it, which would help you in turn not have to give up as many assets in a move. Instead of attaching picks to Grant, maybe you can absorb a player, and not give up much. But anyways, I just
it makes it easier to work around. Yeah, it makes it easier to work around his contract, but it also makes it so that there would be potential doors that would open if his contract wasn't on the roster at the same time. So, like either way, the extensions are good prices. They're good moves, no matter what the situation is, because that's just potentially more money that you should be spending on these guys. So that's always obviously going to be a win. Just the Grant contract is just an anchor, and it's a wart on what should be a very clean cap sheet. Do you have any other thoughts regarding these extensions you want to get into?
Well, regarding the cap sheet, real quick, that is the one thing we've criticized since Cronin took over. He makes the trades right away at the first trade deadline he is a part of to get rid of Norm and CJ's contracts. And then, it's touted all this cap space he's going to have by like Woj and Shams and stuff. And then they just use it all up to re-sign Nurk and Anthony. And ever since then, they've basically been right up fighting the tax, and it's prevented them from doing a lot of things. Now they get lucky this summer with DeAndre Ayton being willing to take less money to leave, and that kind of helps out their cap situation.
Lakers fans hated him tonight.
Yeah, and now he's someone else's problem, thankfully. I don't if you were still defending DeAndre Ayton and thought it was the wrong decision that the Blazers let him go, just read Laker Twitter tonight. It is, because that's pretty crazy.
They're not going to put up with him as long as Blazer fans did. Blazer fans always like to look at, man, this guy's young and he had a really good game, on game 10 of the season. Maybe he can turn it around here. Maybe we can fix him. And Laker fans like, you better come in, you better produce. If you don't, our fan base is going to eviscerate you. So, I think they're going to quit on him a lot faster than Blazers fans did.
Yeah, and so the Drew trade, we took back more. He makes more than Anthony, so we were able to do the unbalanced trade because we were under that tax line, but it put us kind of close to there where we weren't going to be able to use the full mid-level exception or anything, and that's why, quite frankly, we weren't outside of Dame. It didn't look like we were going to use it anyway, so maybe that was the plan, to just save money. But thankfully, we ended up having that because of DeAndre Ayton, because that's how we were able to sign Dame back. But it's just been a case where he's been up against the tax every year. But getting contracts like these two, which I feel like even if they don't improve a whole lot over what we saw, I still feel like those aren't going to be like anchor contracts
Yeah.
or untradeable contracts. I think someone would always take a chance on Sharp in those with his potential, even if he had a subpar year. And then Toumani, I mean, that price at the percentage of the cap and all that kind of stuff um, is something that every team could use, and 20 million isn't that hard to trade for and stuff like that. So I feel like this is a step in the right direction for um, getting that cap situation in a really good situation in a few years because um, like I said, we don't have a max contract guy. So if we have a bunch of middle level contracts, it does allow you to maybe make a huge move at some point and be able to do that. Whereas if we had to sign Scoot to a max extension and Sharp to a max extension because they had broken out already, then we could maybe be saying, well, how are we going to fit another player next to these guys? We might have to. Those guys need to be the stars. Now, there's still some room for them to be stars, but also we have room to still potentially work with the cap in a few years once those other two big contracts are off the books.
Yeah, absolutely. Who gifted the latest membership?
That was maybe not again. His name's Matt, and I don't see
Did it
what
go to anyone? Did anybody get it? I don't know. I don't see anyone. Kind of confused. But thank you for gifting the membership that maybe fell into the void, unfortunately. Yeah. So any thoughts on tomorrow? Because I know you're gonna go. I'm probably just gonna do the prediction stream on the stream since we got 200 people here at 10:09. So
Yeah.
I'll need to set that up. But any other thoughts? I'm working on setting that up right now.
Yeah,
Any
so
thoughts on like tomorrow, the team as we head into opening day?
yeah, I'm obviously super excited about the Blazers season. I'm glad it's finally here. I'm glad we can finally see them on the court with games that matter. And then today, I feel like that was a really good step in the right direction with Chauncey announcing that Jerami Grant, at least initially, would come off the bench. And they're starting the starters we all want right now.
Oh my
And
God.
I think we all, well, pretty much all agree that Drew, Sharp, Toumani, Denny, and Klingman should be the starters, at least until Scoot comes back, and then we can maybe have a different conversation. But Chauncey did say it could change at any point, so we'll see how long it lasts. Hopefully, the starters play well and that they kind of cement themselves as the starting unit. And then yeah, so that got me even more pumped up because I feel like it was the right decision. He said Jerami Grant had a great camp, and this wasn't a reflection on him, and that's good. That's what you have to say or whatever, and could be true. From all accounts, Jerami did have a pretty good camp, and is bought in and stuff like that. So props to him if he accepts that role and all that.
I don't even want to give him props. He's being paid $32 million this year.
Right.
And you know what I mean? Like, be a professional. That's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to be a professional. So, yeah, I guess props, but, like, he's doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah. So hopefully because honestly, if he embraces that role, I do think he could be in the conversation for sixth man of the year, especially if the Blazers make a play-in push and he's averaging, close to 20 off the bench. That could be a good role for him, and it could take some of the pressure off that he'd been feeling the last couple of years. So maybe it'll work out, and hopefully it will. But I do think that was the right decision by Chauncey. I feel like the other five have deserved to start. Like I said, might be a different conversation once Scoot gets back into the mix,
Mhm.
but we'll cross that bridge when it happens. For now, the players that are playing, um, I feel like that was the right decision.
Yep. Yep. Agreed. Agreed.
And then I feel like there was something else. Oh, it is weird that we get a report that all the players practiced in full yesterday, and then today Rob Will's still out for tomorrow. So I know that says reconditioning or whatever, but it was weird because yesterday they announced that everyone or all those guys practiced in full outside of Scoot and Dame, and then today we hear that Rob Will's not playing in the first game. So I don't know, man. I don't know
You're
if that's
gonna
going to be the
see.
case all season or what, but
Yeah. Yeah. You're gonna see Young Hansen tomorrow.
yeah, we should for a little bit at least.
Yeah. And if there's, I wonder how many non-center minutes there are gonna be, or if like Duop plays. The bench. The bench is gonna be a problem to start the season. Like I saw, bench lineup. I think 503 had a tweet. He was like, bench lineup for tomorrow: Blake Wesley, Matisse Thybulle, Chris Murray, and I'm just like, try not to throw up at the shooting there.
Grant and
Grant
Hanson.
and like Young Hansen. Is Young Hansen the second best shooter in the lineup? I mean, I guess Thybulle, shot decently, kind of, recently. Last season, shot 43%, but it was in like 13 games. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what to expect out of tomorrow. I don't know how competitive the Blazers are going to be on opening night. I just feel like the starters are going to be relatively competitive and the bench is going to be rough. That's my simple predictions for tomorrow.
Yeah, I, I know Chauncey talked about like expanding his rotation to 10 or 11 guys. I feel like he might have to shorten it a little bit if
Yeah.
that second unit's struggling. He might have to play players, and I think you could play 8 guys and still disperse the minutes so no one's
Yeah.
playing like huge minutes. But yeah, that's going to be one of the challenges until Scoot gets back is just how that second unit does, and there's definitely going to have to be a lot of staggering and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Agreed.
And then one more bit of news from today that we have to talk about
Mm-hmm.
because, I mean, Klingon and Scoot were no brainers. Those options were going to get picked up. But that was something we had discussed a couple times over the offseason was would you pick up the fourth year option on Chris Murray's contract for 2026, 2027? And that question was answered today with yes, they picked it up.
Of course they did.
What were you thinking when you saw that? Were you a little disappointed? Were you okay with it?
I just like it doesn't really matter. I guess it's a trade chip, but we should not be relying on this. We should not be relying on him. We just
Mm,
should not be relying on him. If he's at the end of the roster, sure, but like that's $5 million to a guy that's like should be your 13th, 14th guy in my opinion, and probably doesn't have a future on your team. So it's just like, do they still think he factors into their future plans? That's what
I
it
mean, it
makes me
seems like you're
wonder.
going to play a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's probably going to play a little bit tomorrow, and guess what? He's probably going to have a great game because I said this. But uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I just feel like we're just kicking the can down the road, and like after next year, he won't be back,
Yeah.
or they
It will.
resign him to $10 million a year after his rookie contract. He better shoot the three ball well. But yeah, those are my thoughts.
I yeah, really with Keegan signing that big extension, I still hold out hope if they do decide he no longer is wanted here that they could easily trade him to the Kings or something. And I did hear a rumor that the Kings were considering dealing Devin Carter and stuff like that. No, I'm not saying it necessarily makes sense for the Blazers, but if they're ever interested in Chris, I do think we could dump him pretty easily.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I would trade him in 2 seconds for Devin Carter in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
Even with the guard situation being what
that would help our
is.
bench this year.
That's just value. I like Devin Carter a lot. So,
Mubsy Hoops with a member for 1 month message. Season starts tomorrow, fellows. Smash the like. Yes, please smash the like button. That is the easiest way to support the channel. And then Matt also had another donation earlier, $2. Said, "Would you give up a first to trade Grant? Is that worth it?"
Not right now. If you have a path to making up that value, sure, but not right now. Yeah. It would be an off-season trade, that type of trade. But it's more likely, if you're going to do a type of trade like that, you're going to be like sign and trading for a player coming in and need to match that salary, and the team you are receiving the sign and traded player for doesn't want Grant back, so you find a third team, you attach a first to him to offload him onto that third team and combine it all to use that salary to bring in somebody you sign and trade, and you can just justify it like, this guy's good enough in the sign and trade to give up a first round pick for, and we're using Grant's salary to match it, right? That's the easiest way to justify a Grant salary dump, is to do it hand in hand with another move that completely justifies it.
Man, I am really confused.
Oh, you don't remember? You don't remember that?
Trading Sharpe for RJ Barrett?
You don't remember when we got trolled?
Oh.
You don't remember that?
I guess I remember that, yeah.
When we had like 5 people come in and chat, if you don't know what we're talking about, it was during was it free agency? When we had like 5 people come in and be like, Cronin, what did you do? They traded Sharpe for RJ Barrett. And it was like enough people that we started like, whoa. And then it was just a...
Oh, you were like gone. It was just me for a minute. And I was like, what?
Yeah, I heard you like freaking out. So I came running back. I think I was eating.
It was like a few weeks after there was a rumor the Blazers were interested in RJ Barrett too. Yeah. I completely... I had somehow blocked that out of my mind.
I know.
Thanks for bringing that up.
It's like you say what to him, I'm like, damn.
But no, we did not suggest that the Blazers should trade Shaedon Sharpe for RJ Barrett in any stretch. But yeah,
another guy who's cheaper and better than. I don't know if I want to say he's better than RJ Barrett like yet. If he breaks out, obviously, but RJ Barrett was pretty good last year.
Yeah, as Trevor says, we had the highest odds to get RJ Barrett at one point. It's so random.
Yeah, I just don't really understand why or how. Anyway, we gotta do our prediction stream. I'm almost done setting this up. Basically, I've just had like memory issues on my laptop, so setting this up has been like pulling teeth. But we're almost there. So mods, if you've hung around ready to make your picks, chat. You guys will be able to vote in chat polls to make your picks for standings predictions. And then we'll also do awards predictions at the end. That is the plan. Anything else you want to get into, Eric?
I just appreciate everyone tuning in. And can't wait for tomorrow night. And just in case you don't know, we will be here live. Tori said he's going to the game, so it'll probably be about 30 minutes after the game.
Yeah.
We'll be going live and breaking down everything that happened, hopefully talking about the Blazers being 1-0. As of right now, Anthony Edwards is questionable for tomorrow night. I'm assuming he's going to play, but you never know. So
we're getting started early with the playing home games against teams without their best player thing.
If Anthony Edwards doesn't play and we lose to them,
that would be a phenomenal way to start the season, huh?
Ugh.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. I'm already rethinking some of my picks, but I'm just gonna go with it. And Not overthink them.
Yeah, I mean, you can always overthink. I have no idea what I'm going to pick. I have a couple things in mind, but
Oh, you haven't done it yet.
no, man, I have not had time. I have not had time. I'm trying to prep for tomorrow, man. A new season is a whole lot of stuff to prepare for. It's not easy. So yeah, I'm just trying to be ready for tomorrow. Just trying to be ready for tomorrow. But shout out to Streamlabs won't let me read the name.
I gotcha. That's Matt again.
So thanks, boys. Not. See you tomorrow night. Well, I'll still be around for like an hour and a half as we make predictions, but Eric's bowing out. Thank you for the donation, though. Appreciate you.
Yeah, someone asked earlier if we've done our prediction stream yet this year. It's about to happen right now.
Yeah, I was too heartbroken last night to do it last night, so I was very, very upset over the Mariners' loss. Shout out to Muvsy, $10 Canadian donation says new intro song. Yeah, just wait till you hear a Muvsy's intro song for us. You don't know what to expect. You don't know what you're in for.
Is it a rap?
Yeah.
You didn't let me get in on that?
No. Muvsy's a pro. Muvsy's a pro, man.
I'm not a pro.
I'm guessing. I don't know. I need to hear. But Urfc says intro song. I'm intrigued. Yeah, you guys are gonna have to tune in tomorrow. I'm trying to spice up the intro, have a little more fun. All right. I'm just gonna finish getting set up. We're gonna transition here. Eric sent me his picks. Eric is just gonna be you for a second, FYI.
Okay.
Because I need to get my charger for my laptop.
I'm just finishing entering my picks. What's up, everyone? What were all of your thoughts about the extensions? Plus, can we trade for Giannis if we give them their picks back, Grant, and a young player? I mean, we would be in a pretty good position to trade for Giannis if he became available, but I mean, they signed both of his brothers, and I don't know. I think he'd have to ask out. And then there was a rumor a few weeks ago that he would want to go to the Knicks if he asked out or something for some reason, but yeah. Rip City says, nice to get the extensions done before the season and not have to worry about RFA with Sharpe. Absolutely agree. It would have been annoying and frustrating as a fan if what happened with Grimes and Cam Thomas and Jonathan Kuminga this summer, Giddey too for a long time, if that would have happened with Sharpe next offseason, that it would have just been like, come on, when's this going to end? And some of those just ended a couple weeks ago. So yeah, it's good that they're locked up. I mean, we got those guys now under contract till 2030, when they're still cheap this year. I just thought it was a home run to sign both of those guys. So really good job all around by them. And then once again, props to Sharpe for just taking the contract, even though he probably could have held out and bet on himself. But seems like he wants to be here, and that's a good thing.
Yep. I don't really have any more thoughts. I dropped 2 videos on it yesterday. If you want to hear my thoughts, like right afterwards.
Or Sunday.
Yeah, and I had what was I gonna say? I had Had Muvsy edit those. He's helping edit this year. Want to drop more videos on off days. I had some comments on the videos about it. So long form, short form, trying to mix things up this year. So looking forward to those videos. I think it's going to be kind of new but fun, fast paced videos on off days. So obviously time permitting. Yeah. Let me finish setting up. Oh my goodness. Let me close Discord. Oh, that was you. Okay.
That was me.
Let me mute.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. I need to mute my laptop. There we go.
I'd have one homer pick.
Oh god. One homer pick? There's only one possible homer pick. What do you mean? Oh, you mean with the awards?
Yeah.
Oh, Anthony Simon's probably his sixth man.
No, that's not a homer pick. He doesn't play for the Blazers.
Yeah, but that's your guy.
Yeah.
That is your guy. All right. I'm almost ready for predictions. Normally I set everything up beforehand. Today that is not the case.
Connor says Tori got all the noises going.
Yeah.
Lil Pete says they're very happy Sharpe took the money, especially after seeing what happened to Kaminga and Cam Thomas. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Trevor wants to know which award you're picking for Scoot.
All of them.
You just have to wait till find out.
All of them. Unfortunately, Scoot might not play 65 games, or else I'd pick him for all of them.
Yeah. John Nash says I expected Sharpe to bet on his improvement and hold off. Yeah, I was kind of surprised because I forgot who had it, but a couple weeks ago there was a report that we offered Sharpe 490, but he was hoping to get somewhere in the 100 to 110 million range.
Yeah.
And so when I saw the 490, I was like, wait, he just took that? Like he didn't get any more than that? Or like I'd be interested to hear how those negotiations went. If Cronin was just like, hey, look, if you want to play this out this season, go for it. We fully respect that, but this is the most we can are willing to offer you right now.
Yeah.
And then he just took that, man. That's kind of crazy.
Whoa.
Although, I do have to say, maybe we owe all the credit on this one with Shaedon Sharpe to one Joe Freeman. I don't know who he's writing for, if it's Oregonian or whoever he's writing for.
Yeah.
But maybe he just annoyed Shaedon Sharpe to the point where he was like, I do not want to answer a single another question about this.
Yeah.
And just was like, you know what, whatever they're offering, 490, good. I'm going to take it so I don't have to answer the stupid questions about my contract from Joe Freeman all year.
That's actually funny. Yeah, maybe. Shout out Joe Freeman, man.
Because I've never seen Shaedon that visibly annoyed. Like usually he's like very calm and chill, and like he was like, dude was getting pressed with those questions.
I know.
Those questions were like, dude, lay off him. He kind of tried to answer your first one. You don't have to keep going at it.
No, props for getting an emotional reaction out of Sharpe. It's not an easy thing to do. So. Props for getting him to lock in this extension. Anyway. All right, Tori, what section are you going to be in tomorrow? I don't remember.
Don't remember?
I don't remember. But I bought him with a ticketing app. I have a new favorite ticketing app, okay? It's called TickPick. TickPick. Use promo code HMA if you want a deal on TickPick. This isn't official sponsorship, but will help out. Oh, did Eric get collab cammed or did he leave? Not sure. But yeah. You got collab cam. Yeah, use promo code HMA on TickPick. And you can help out my business.
Madden asked 100, 200, or 300, and I said Torrey doesn't sit in the 300.
I'll sit in no 300s, man. Shoot, next season I might be sitting courtside. I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to do it for a game next year. Finally sit first row. Yeah. Anyway, all right. I think I'm ready to go with picks. I hope I'm ready to go with picks.
Courtside bones is aura, says Mubsy.
Sheesh. Just an experience, you gotta have at some point, right? So, anyway, that is all from you. Is there anything else you want to get into?
Thanks everyone. Good luck making your predictions. Chat, make sure you participate, and hope to see everyone back tomorrow night. Let's all talk about the Blazer game.
Yep, agree, man. I'll catch you tomorrow.
All right, have a good night, everyone.
All right, see. Okay, Mubsy, can you do the chat polls for this? All right, you should have access just for as long as you're around. Can you do the chat polls for this? So what we're gonna do, if you're new to this, we make standings predictions. We do chat polls so you guys can make your own predictions. It's a fun way to do things. We have all our mods. Myself, Eric. Not all our mods, but like some of our mods. Myself, Eric, Mubsy, chat. You guys can see right there. You got the chat column. Okay. What I want, we're going to start with the East, then we're going to go to the West. I think it's going to be super interesting this year with the Blazers being around the play-in territory. Normally, we've been predicting them right at the bottom of the West. So it's going to be interesting to see where they show up. Trevin says, bring back this setup. Can I do that setups, Trevin? Let me see. Oh yeah, that's good enough. Is that crisp enough though? So like if I went here, I don't know if that's crisp enough. Do you guys want it like this, or do you guys want it like zoomed in more? Let me know. Let me know how you want it. Zoomed out? Let me know, chat. Let me know. Zoomed out or zoomed in? We can do either. Anyway, we're going to start with Eastern Conference teams. What I want you to do in the live chat, vote for your worst Eastern Conference team. Okay? Your worst Eastern Conference team. Whatever teams are put in the chat, we'll make a poll for the 15th seed. Okay? Muzzy will make a poll. He'll title it 15th seed. He'll put the team name. All right, Muzzy, that's what you're going to do. It won't let you make polls. Brother, go into... You should be able to go into create, go live, and then make polls under the permissions that you have. Yeah, just like you do for the collectives. Yeah, just do it that way. All right. So let me go to live chat. Vote for your worst team in the East. All right, we want it zoomed out. The mods want it zoomed out. All right, we're going to do a zoomed out. Okay. then I can do that with the webcam. All right, cool. Cool, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Okay. We got Brooklyn, we got Washington. So mods, start sending me your picks. Arrow, his worst team is going to be the Brooklyn Nets. I'm in agreement with Arrow. I'm also going with Brooklyn. I think the 5 rookies are going to play a lot. I don't think they're going to be that cohesive. Michael Porter Jr. is your best player. Not a fan of that. So I'm going Brooklyn with my worst team in the East. Eric is going with Brooklyn as well. Connor, Washington. Trevin's also going Washington. I think... Whoops, I moved this over. What in the world is happening? Okay. I think the young talent in Washington, more experience. You got CJ there. You got a couple vets, on Brooklyn and Washington. I just think Alex Sarr year 2, Koulibaly another year. I trust the young core a little bit more with the Wizards. That's why I'm not going 15th seed for them. All right, Brendan. Is Brendan here? I thought Brendan wanted to make his picks, but maybe not. Maybe not. All right, Muvsy, you can end the chat poll. Muvsy's worst team is the Nets. Chat was 50-50. Oh, you weren't supposed to end it if it was 50-50. I couldn't see the percentage. All right, we got Freezing Cloud went Brooklyn Nets. We'll go Brooklyn Nets. 15 for chat. Yeah, sorry, Bubsy. I literally could not see the poll there. All right, we got Brooklyn, and then Brendan. Oh, Brendan is in chat. Brendan, do you have a different username in chat? Sorry, I gotta use... Oh, Brendan99, Brooklyn. All right. Wait, why are you not modded? Are you on a different account? Hold on, let me mod you. That's why I didn't notice. Add as moderator. All right, there you go. Okay. Okay. So we got 2 Wizards. We got 4 Brooklyn. Chat was pretty unanimous that Brooklyn and Washington are going to be the 4 worst seeds, or the 2 worst seeds in the Eastern Conference. So we're going to go with that. We're going to go Washington. I'm also going to go Washington. I think it's pretty clear that these are the bottom 2 teams in the East, but maybe somebody has a surprise. That's what always makes these prediction streams fun, when people have bold picks. But it's tough to go against these being the bottom 2 teams. so far. Everybody has the Wizards and Nets at the bottom of the East. All right, 14th seed. We don't need to do a poll for this. Nets would have won before polls existed anyway. Nice. All right, we got Wizards for Brendan. We got Wizards for Arrow. Trevin is Nets and Connor is Nets. All right, so pretty clear cut. Now, chat, 13th seed. Give me your 13th seed. Type it in the chat. Any results, we'll put it in the poll. Because now here's where things get a little bit interesting. I'm going to go with the Hornets. I think they might be a little bit better this year, but they just can't stay healthy. They just absolutely cannot stay healthy. Eric's going Hornets as well. I mean, you do have some talent there. I don't like the center position for them after trading Mark Williams. But he was another guy that could never stay healthy. So we got Hornets for Trevin, Hornets for Brendan. We got Hornets for Arrow. We got Muvsy going with the Chicago Bulls, so it's not a unanimous bottom three. And then Connor went with... We're waiting on Connor. Is the Raptors healthy? The Raptors are relatively healthy, yeah. The Raptors are a sneaky team. We'll get to them. It looks like Chat's going with the Hornets. We can end that poll. Pretty unanimous that it is the Charlotte Hornets for Chat. And then Connor went Hornets as well. So we got Muvsy going with the Bulls. Everybody else has the Hornets as their 13th seed. All right, 12th seed. For anybody that put any other teams in the chat, we can do a poll for that. But chat, let me know who you think will be the 12th seed. We'll put together a poll for that as well. Here's where things get really, really interesting. Really, really interesting. I'm going to wait to give my pick. We got Bulls from Brendan, Bulls from Trevin. Heat from Connor. Arrow went with the Bulls. Muvsy, this is where he has the Hornets. Feels like everybody's forgetting that the Bulls always find a way to get the 10th seed no matter what. No matter what, they find a way to get the 10th seed. Also, Muvsy, you can do more options than just two. So if you see any other names, you can always toss them in as well. Eric went with the Bulls. I'm going with the Miami Heat as my 12th seed. I don't trust the Heat this year. I just think without Jimmy, they don't have that true number one. They lost Duncan Robinson, who is a pretty key role player for them. Just feels like this is the time where they start to struggle. They really start to struggle. All right, for the chat poll, we have Bulls for chat. So everybody has the Bulls, Hornets, Wizards, Nets at their bottom 4, except for myself and Connor. All right. The 11th seed in the East, we got Heat from Arrow. We have Heat from Muvsy. Eric is going with the Heat as well. We got Indiana from Trevin. Indiana. I mean, no Halliburton, but man. We got Raptors from Brendan. Connor. Going Heat. Yeah, Hero's going to be... Oh, wait, no. That was your last one. Connor, who do you have at 11? Why are the Bulls an option for 11th seed if Chat picked them 12th? That's a good question. It's a good question. That's a question for Muvsy. The Bulls are off the board. Appreciate Muvsy making the polls for me. It would be impossible for me to do this smoothly without doing the without having help on the polls. But yeah, if there's a team picked, yeah, we don't need to put them in the poll. Thoughts on Ayton Stinker today? I love seeing another fan base have to deal with DeAndre Ayton. It's beautiful to not have to deal with DeAndre Ayton. I guess at 11, I'm going to go with the Bulls, but I feel like a team above them is going to be injured, and they're going to get the 10th seed. I just don't know which team that's going to be, so I'm going to put them at 11. He said Bulls was in the chat. My bad. That was your first mistake, is trusting chat to know which team they already picked. Still waiting on Connor to make his 11th selection, and it's going to be Raptors for chat. Man, we're really back to it. I already did. You said Heat, but that was your 12th seed. Oh, Bulls. What am I talking about? All right. So we got, this is where things are starting to get a little jumbled. My mind is a little jumbled. All right, on to the 10th seed. 10th seed, I'm going with the Toronto Raptors. Muvsy is going with the Detroit Pistons, taking a step back. Heat for Brendan, Heat for Trevin. Eric is going with the Raptors. Me and Eric are pretty in step here. Arrow went with the Indiana Pacers. Connor went with the Raptors. And we need a chat poll for 9. The Saddest Nation says, man, that Mariners game hurt. Yeah, that was the worst loss of my life, man. I don't want to think about it. I really don't. Really don't. Pacers, no Hallie. Yeah, but I mean, you still got great players there. You still got great players there. You still got Siakam, too. I guess they have no Turner. But I think Jay Huff's underrated. Do Mariners fans want Dodgers or Jays? I want the Dodgers. Screw the Blue Jays. All right, we got heat for chat. I hope the Dodgers sweep them so I don't even have to feel bad about the Mariners. Tristan says the Heat are my dark horse team in the East this year. Good luck with that one. All right, at 9, you guys talked me into going Pacers. Arrow is going with the Philadelphia 76ers. Eric is going with the Indiana Pacers, while me and Eric are agreeing on everything. Muvsy is going with the Indiana Pacers. Trevin is going Raptors. Brendan went Pacers. Connor, we're waiting on. Might as well start plugging in my upcoming picks. Jeez, me and Eric agree on everything. What the hell? All right, chat, there's your poll. Connor is going with the Pacers. So everybody Pacers so far except chat, but chat conforms to groupthink, so it already looks like this poll is over because Pacers have 90% of the vote. So, all right, we got Pacers for chat. Now we move on to the 8th seed. So far, everybody has the Pacers, Raptors, Bulls, Heat, Hornets, Wizards, and Nets, 9 through 15, except for Arrow, who has the 76ers instead of the Raptors, as well as Muvsy, who has the Pistons instead of the Raptors. At number 8, Muvsy, next poll, I'd put Sixers, Bucks, Pistons, and whatever fourth team chat wants. 76ers, maybe. I'd put those 4. All right, at 8, I have the Milwaukee Bucks. Eric also has the Milwaukee Bucks. It's Giannis and the Miles Turner, I guess, but he should not be your second best player. And then, I don't know who the hell their third best player is. Kyle Kuzma? Bobby Portis? Roster's disgusting around Giannis. If he misses any time, that team's going to be one of the worst teams in the league. 8th feels a little high even. I do not like the Bucks this year. Arrow is going with the Milwaukee Bucks as well. Muvsy's going with the Boston Celtics. We got 76ers from Trevin. We got 76ers from Brendan. Connor is going with the Atlanta Hawks. And chat, whoops, I need to not knock over my Powerade. That would be bad. Chat, 12 votes in. We're looking like the 76ers for chat. All right, chat's going Sixers. So next poll, we can do Bucks, Pistons, Hawks, and Celtics. All right, for number 7, Arrow finally has the Toronto Raptors. Muvsy has the Milwaukee Bucks. Guys, would you believe it if I told you that Muvsy is a Raptors fan? We got Celtics from Trevin and Brendan. This is also where I have the Celtics. Celtics, Bucks, Pacers, like, I don't know what to think of any of those teams this year. I mean, I guess other than the Bucks, I think they're going to struggle. Let's see what Eric has. He has the Philadelphia 76ers. The Celtics losing Tatum, Drew Holiday, and Porzingis in the only piece you really added that's worth anything is Anthony Simons. That defense is going to take a big step back. You don't have your number one option from previous years. Yeah, they're I think going to be a play-in team. Connor had Bucks. Muvsy is chatting as Blazers Uprise, by the way. Chat for number 7 is going with the Milwaukee Bucks. You can tell I'm not making the polls because I would always capitalize the team names because I know how to use a shift key. A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. Anyway. All right. Now here's where we get into it. At 6, I have the Detroit Pistons. At 6, Eric also has the Detroit Pistons. Arrow has the Boston Celtics. Muvsy has his Toronto Raptors. He's drinking the Kool-Aid. We got Magic from Trevin. I believe I had a new Magic logo. Can I find it? I swear I had the new Magic logo. Man. You know what? Let me just do something real quick here. All right. There we go. We got Magic for Trevin. We got Bucks for Brendan. So Trevin has the Bucks over the Magic. Connor is going Sixers. And we have Chat going with the Boston Celtics. All right, 5th seed. Fifth seed, we got Arrow going with the Pistons. We got Eric going with the Celtics. Eric's still pretty high on the Celtics. I'm going with the 76ers. I think people are a little too low on the 76ers. I know they have injury issues, but adding Edgecombe, if they have Embiid for any part of the season this year, they're just much more talented than the teams underneath them. And the Celtics, Bucks, Pacers all have questions as well. Trevin is going with the Bucks. Muvsy went with the Atlanta Hawks. We need a chat poll. 5 teams left. Do every team but the Cavs in the chat poll. I remember this last year, Connor was the only Blazers fan. Well, you can be a Blazers fan and think they're going to suck. Nothing that says you can't. Brendan went Hawks. Connor finally goes Celtics. So that's Celtics off the board for everybody. And chat, we need a chat poll. Muvsy fell asleep at the wheel. Muvsy, we roast our mods, all right? So welcome to reality. It just means we appreciate you. Or something like that. All right. What we got in the chat poll? We got Hawks, 95% of the vote for chat. Alrighty. At 4, you can do the 4 teams remaining, Muvsy. At 4, we have the 76ers for Muvsy. We have the Hawks for Arrow. I'm going with the Atlanta Hawks as well. I think Risa Shea, if he takes another step, Jalen Johnson, hopefully he can have a healthy season. He's a first-time All-Star candidate. And then, of course, you have Trae Young, Dyson Daniels. They just traded for Kristaps Porzingis. They still have a Okongwu off the bench. He's perpetually always going to come off the bench, but good bench big. They got some depth. I really like them going into this season. Eric also has them at 4. Trevin. Fake poll? Yeah, why do we only do the Hawks and the Knicks at 5? I said every team but the Cavs. Every team but the Cavs. Okay, we gotta redo that poll. 5th seed. 5th seed needs to be everybody but the Cavs in the poll. In the poll. Lovesy, if you gotta go too, just let me know. Just let me know. Here, I'll do the poll. Every team but the Cavs. There's 4 options because it's the 5th seed. So Magic, Hawks, Knicks, and who is the other team they didn't have so far? Magic, Knicks, Hawks. Who am I forgetting for chat? Oh, the Pistons. All right. Chat, there's your poll for number 5. All right. We'll let chat catch up. I will say I'm very surprised by Trevin having Orlando at 6. I'm curious what the reasoning is there. Of course, after trading for Desmond Bane, I think that's the offense they need. Another year for Wagner and Banchero. I really like the Magic. They need to give polls to mods. I mean, that'd be awesome. All the changes they're making and stuff to the live chat. I wish they could give mods powers to make polls. This power rate is hidden. It's hidden. All right. It's tied 43-43. Next vote breaks the tie. Next vote better be between the Hawks and the Pistons. Next vote breaks the tie. Who's going to break the tie? All right, there we go. Pistons for chat. So it wasn't the Hawks. It's the Detroit Pistons. All right, 4 seeds. Trevin, Brendan, Connor. Please re-say it. Arrow would abuse that to make polls about Toys Cats. I wish I could, determine which mods get the power to make polls. Because, yeah, we would have to withhold those powers from Arrowmancer. We got Hawks for Trevin, which means he still has not picked the Pistons. He has the Pistons as a top 3 seed. We got Pistons at 4 for Brendan. We got Pistons at 4 for Connor. I just think without a second star that you can really trust next to Cade, I have a hard time putting them above teams with multiple stars. All right, so here we go. We got the chat poll. Yeah, you can put the Cavs now, by the way. Muvsy. Because there's 4 options. You can do up to 4 options. But it looks like pretty clearly Hawks for chat at 4. All right, top 3. My third team is the New York Knicks. Eric's third team is the Orlando Magic. Arrow's third team is the Magic. Whoops, wrong. Magic logo. We don't mess with that logo anymore. There we go. Magic. Muvsy. Magic. A lot of people have Magic, Knicks, Cavs as their top 3 teams in the East. Trevin is going finally with the Pistons. Trevin, why do you like the Pistons so much more than the Magic? I need a deep dive. I need analysis. Muvsy going with the Hawks as the 3rd seed. Oh, wait, no. That was Brendan. Whoops, I'm tripping. What did Brendan go with? Brendan went with the Magic. Connor went Magic as well, so a lot of Magic on line 3. Chat is going with Magic, 56% of the vote. All right, 1 seed poll for chat between the Knicks and the Cavs. I have the Magic, as the 2 seed, which means I have the Cleveland Cavaliers as the 1 seed. Eric has the Knicks as the 2 seed and the Cavs as the 1 seed. Arrow, Cavs 1 seed, Knicks 2 seed. Muvsy, he He has the Knicks as his 1 and the Cavs as his 2 seed. Trevin has Knicks at 2, which means he has the Cavs at 1. Connor has Knicks at 2, Cavs is 1. Brendan, Knicks at 2, Cavs at 1. That's going to be the pretty popular pick here. By the way, I always do a video at the end of the year looking back over our predictions and seeing who's the closest. It's a lot of fun. In chat, we got Knicks at 2 and Cavs at 1. Those are your Eastern Conference standings predictions. Quick recap of little surprises. I mean, I'm the highest on the Magic. I have them above the Knicks. Trevin loves the Pistons. He has them all the way up at number 3. The Pistons were between 3 and 6 for everybody but Muvsy, who had him at 10. Hawks, everybody had it 4 or 5 except Connor, who had him all the way down at 8. The Sixers were between 4 and 9. Nobody knows what to do with the Sixers. It all depends on health. If healthy, that they could be a top 4 seed, have first round home court advantage. If not healthy, they could have a season like last year where they're not even in the play-in. The Celtics, we had between 5 and 8. The Bucks, we had between 5 and 8 as well. Trevin, the highest on them at 5. The Pacers, between 9 and 11. The Raptors, we had between 6 and 11. We had Muvsy high on them at 6, but Arrow right behind him, having the Raptors at 7th. The Bulls, the Heat, the Hornets, Wizards, Nets, all pretty much non-playing teams for most. And now we flip it over to the Western Conference. Here's where things get fun. Where are we going to put the Blazers? How biased are we going to be? I'm looking forward to this. All right. Chat poll for teams at the bottom of the West. Muvsy, let's just do... Let's do it. Poll Jazz or not the Jazz. Okay? Jazz or not the Jazz. I need to save a proper sized Jazz logo because it's too big. So let me just do that real quick. All right. I got Jazz at 15. Arrow has Jazz at 15. Eric has Jazz at 15. Muvsy has Jazz at 15. Jazz for Connor, Trevin, Brendan. Oops. Do we have a poll? A poll for chat. Oh, he's gone now? It's all me? Okay. All right. For the seed, I'm just going to put the number. Okay, I'm just going to put the number in the poll. Just to make it faster for me. There's your poll. While this poll is going on, vote for who you want in the 14th place poll. Okay, vote for who you have at 14 in the chat. We'll put it in the poll, the next poll. I'm really sad my power rate's gone. All right, we got the Jazz. All right, so next poll, we got Kings. Unless he wants to give someone else perms. I have to give you perms like into the entire channel. Suns. We'll put Trailblazers. And Pelicans. At 14, Arrow has the Pelicans. At 14, Eric has the Pelicans. That's a scary team if they're healthy, though, man. The West is insane. At 14, Muvsy has the Memphis Grizzlies. Brendan has the Pelicans. Trevin has the Kings. The West is going to be tough. Connor has... Is that a channel setting from the streamer? Because I know it didn't. I didn't change that. Well, it's just showing handles now, like not like display names. All right, chat is hating on the Phoenix Suns. Connor, it went Pelicans. I don't know what to do here, guys. You know what? Just because of the Keegan Murray stands I've been dealing with on Twitter, I'm going with the Sacramento Kings as the 14th seed. All right. At 13, Arrow has the Kings. For chat, the poll will be Kings, Pelicans, Trailblazers, and well, they're not going to vote for the Trailblazers, these homers we have in chat, you know, so I'm going to do Grizzlies, Spurs. All right, at 13, Eric has the Sacramento Kings. At 13, oh man. At 13, I guess I'll go with the Pelicans, but that's just banking on them being somewhat injured. Muvsy at 13 went with the Pelicans as well. Brendan Kings, Trevin Suns. If Zion's healthy and in shape, they could legitimately be a play-in team. I mean, even the Kings could end up being a play-in team. You have 14 teams with a legitimate chance, which is kind of wild. Chat is going with the Kings at 13. So everybody, I mean, we had 3 people in disagreement here. The consensus is Pelicans, Kings, Jazz in some order. Bottom 3, except Arrow has the Suns instead of the Pelicans. Muvsy has the Grizzlies instead of the Suns. And Chat has the Suns instead of the Pelicans. I think Chat's going to end up going with the Pelicans here, but we'll see. Sometimes Chat likes to troll. At 12, I have the Phoenix Suns. At 12, Eric has the Phoenix Suns as well. Arrow has the Phoenix Suns as well. Muvsy has the Kings. Trevin went Pelicans. Connor went Suns. Brendan went Grizzlies. And Chat is going with the New Orleans Pelicans. All right, chat poll for 11. We will do Grizzlies, Trailblazers, Spurs, and at 11, at 11, Arrow is going with the Memphis Grizzlies. I am also going to go with the Memphis Grizzlies. Eric is going with the Grizzlies. Muvsy went with the Suns. It looks like we might have a clear-cut bottom 5 here. We got Grizzlies from Connor and Trevin. Brendan went with the Suns. And Chat is going with the Grizzlies. So we do have a clear-cut bottom 5. Everybody has the same bottom 5 teams. Those teams being the Grizzlies, Suns, Pelicans, Kings, and Jazz. All right, so at 10, Chat, we'll put the Trailblazers there. We'll put the Spurs there. Any other teams you want there? Let me know in the live chat. Warriors? All right. Clippers. We got 2 Clippers and some Mavs. Okay. All right, chat, there's your poll. Trevin going Blazers. I'm Blazers. Eric's Blazers. Arrow's Blazers. Muvsy's Blazers. Connor's Blazers. Brendan is Blazers. Which means everything hinges on the chat poll. Are the Blazers going to be across the board at 10? People don't realize we have a deeper roster than a lot of these older teams out west. We can make some real noise. Brother, for the start of the season, we're going to be playing a bench rotation, presumably, of Blake Wesley, Matisse Thybulle, Chris Murray, Jerami Grant, and Young Hansen. That is not a good bench. That is not a good bench. Now, when Rob Williams is healthy and Scoot's healthy, yeah, that's a better bench. But if there's any injuries to anybody, the depth on this team falls off a cliff. It really does. I hate to say it. Chat is going with the Portland Trailblazers. So across the board, we have the Portland Trailblazers at number 10. All right. Here we go. 9th seed. I'll do Mavericks. I'll do Spurs. I'll do Clippers. And I guess I'll do Warriors. Here's where things start to get really, really interesting. At 9, I'm going to surprise y'all. We got Clippers for Connor. Trevin's going Mavs. Arrow is going with the Los Angeles Lakers. Muvsy is going with the San Antonio Spurs. Brendan went with the Golden State Warriors. All right, after agreeing on everything 10 on down, including everything at number 10, we cannot agree on anything. Although I do agree with one person here. Eric is going with the Dallas Mavericks. I am going with the Los Angeles Lakers. No LeBron for a while. That defense, I think, is going to really, really struggle. Don't really like their role players. Chat is going with the Dallas Mavericks. Why didn't you give chat the Lakers option? I mean, nobody really said it. So they were all saying Mavericks and Spurs and, you know, like these are the options that they wanted. So but I'll do it in the next poll. All right. At 8, Aeromancer is going with the Clippers. Muvsy is going with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Brendan is going with the Clippers. Connor going with the Los Angeles Lakers. Eric is going with the San Antonio Spurs. Trevin is going with the Los Angeles Lakers. Chat is going with the Los Angeles Lakers. And I am going with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Just kidding. I don't know. It's going to be a good 8th seed, man. Car says you're what now? Spurs are a Wemby injury away from being out of the plan. I mean, so is the Nuggets with the Jokic injury, and the Warriors with the Steph injury, and the Mavs with the Kyrie injury, which they already have, you know, an AD injury. The Clippers with the Kawhi injury. Like, you can say that about basically every team. So at 8, I guess I'll go with the Mavericks. You can't trust AD to stay healthy. You really can't. All right. At 7. What's up, DC Sangoon today? Also, condolences on the Mariners. Thank you for your condolences. That was very brutal, and I'm still heartbroken. Sangoon, I didn't see. I did not watch the games today. I watched a part of the first game, like half a quarter, but that was it. All right. Eric is going with the Golden State Warriors. Muvsy is going with the Los Angeles Clippers. Lakers for Brendan, Warriors for Trevin. Connor went with... Oh, I need to do a chat poll. Who do I want at 7? I'll go Clippers. I'll go Clippers. Connor went with I don't know yet. Chat, it's between the Spurs and the Clippers. Oh, I did not pick. My bad. You're pulling a Connor right now, Connor. All right, we got Warriors. Chat, 50% for the Spurs. It looks like they're going Spurs at number 7. All right, at number 6, I'm going with the Golden State Warriors. I think when they're all healthy, they're better than this, but I think there's going to be some rest days. You know, the age on that team is crazy. So I'm going 6. We got Timberwolves from Trevin. Spurs from Brendan. Muvsy went with the Los Angeles Lakers. Arrow went with the Spurs. Eric went with the Los Angeles Lakers. Connor went. Oh, I gotta do a poll, man. I'm just getting behind. Nope, I do not want to start a members only live stream. 6. Spurs. Oh wait, no, not Spurs. Clippers. Warriors. I'll just toss in a couple more teams. Why not? There you go. So Connor went with the Mavs. Connor likes the Mavs. We still have some people that have yet to go Mavs. And then right now it does look like chat is going to go with the Clippers. All right. At 5, let me do a chat poll. At 5, I have the Minnesota Timberwolves. Eric has the Los Angeles Clippers. Arrow has the Golden State Warriors. Muvsy has the Houston Rockets. Trevin is going Clippers. Brendan, Mavs. Connor is going with the Timberwolves. And then Chat is going with the Golden State Warriors. All right. So now we're into top 4 territory. The options left for Chat: the Timberwolves, the Nuggets, the Rockets, and the OKC Thunder. At 4, Arrow is going with the Dallas Mavericks. He finally puts the Mavericks on the board. Same thing with Muvsy. Eric is going Timberwolves. And I am going with the San Antonio Spurs. Trevin also going Spurs. Brendan going Wolves. Connor is going Spurs. And Chat, right now, 78% of the vote going with the Minnesota Timberwolves. So, 4 through 9 is an absolutely jumbled mess. 10, everybody has the Portland Trailblazers. 11 through 15, everybody has the same teams in relatively the same order. And everybody has the same top 3. Every single person has the same top 3. Those teams are the OKC Thunder, the Houston Rockets, and the Denver Nuggets. At 3, I'm going with the Houston Rockets. Arrow is going with the Denver Nuggets. Muvsy is going with... Oh, wait, no. Muvsy does not have the Rockets top 5. He has the Warriors at 3. He has the Rockets at 5. Sundo thinks the Suns are a play-in team. I mean, Sundo is drinking the Kool-Aid. I mean, I don't really see how you... I don't see how you can put them in the play-in. I mean, I guess if teams get hurt, you could make that claim, but I think on paper they don't really stack up. Eric went Rockets. I mean, maybe they can surprise people. You got Booker. You got Jalen Green, I guess, as your number 2 offensively is not the best. Who's your number 3? And then defensively, like, Mark Williams is not the most mobile big, and you can't count on him to stay healthy. Booker Green backcourt defensively is rough. Your defense is going to surprise people? I just don't think it's above average. I think it's bottom half of the league. For sure. All right, chat, we're going Nuggets. The thing is, being like the 18th ranked defense is a vast improvement over last year. You got Brooks and Dunn. Yeah, those two can't carry a defense to being above average. Like, every above average defense has 2 guys like that. I mean, I'd take Drew Holiday and Toumani Camara over, those two guys defensively. I'd also probably take Klingon over those two guys defensively. I mean, they're different types of defenders. So, and Maluach, yeah, Maluach is probably gonna struggle with like foul trouble like any rookie big though. Chat, we'll start the poll for number 2. Let's see, Trevin's pick at 2 was Rockets. So was Connor's and Brendan's. So Rockets for the rest of these. All right, and then chat, I mean, we already got the Rockets at 2. All right. Arrow has the Rockets at 2. I have the Denver Nuggets at 2. Eric has the Denver Nuggets at 2. Muvsy has the Oklahoma City Thunder at 2. Gillespie is a quote-unquote mini villain? What does that mean? Alright, we got Nuggets for Cotter. And Brendan. Wait, no, Connor. Connor hasn't picked yet. Why would I think Connor picked before other people? Trevin went Nuggets. You can put the Nuggets at 1. I mean, the Thunder probably, if they deal with any injuries, like if they take a step back because, they won it all last year, so championship hangover, it's not crazy. All right, we got Thunder at 2 for Connor. All right, so we don't have Thunder across the board at 1. We have Thunder for 6 of the 8. Gabe, what's your Western Conference standings predictions? I want to know. 1 through 15. Give them to me. Imagine like 2 years ago in my top 4 having the Thunder, Rockets, and Spurs. That'd be crazy. Muvsy has Denver. Alright, Connor has Denver. And chat, by process of elimination, has the Oklahoma City Thunder. Alright, so 6 of the 8 have the Thunder as the 1 seed. Muvsy and Connor have them as the 2 seed because they have the Nuggets at 1. Everybody has Nuggets top 3. Chat and Arrow are the lowest on them. Everybody has Rockets top 3, except for Muvsy. He has them at 5. Most people have them at 3. I'm just going based off my order. The Spurs, everybody has between 4 and 9. Muvsy hates them at 9. We got myself, Trevin, and Connor high on them at 4. A couple of 6th seeds, 7th seed, 8th seed. The Timberwolves also between 4 and 9. Or not 4 and 9, 4 and 8. Eric and Brendan are the highest on the Timberwolves. Muvsy is the lowest at 8. The Warriors are between 3 and 9. Muvsy has the Warriors at 3. We got Arrow and Chat Warriors at 5. We got Brendan low on them all the way down at number 9. The Clippers are between 5 and 9. Connor's the lowest at 9. Eric and Trevin the highest at 5. The Mavericks Also between 4 and 9, Arrow and Muvsy are big fans of the Mavs this year. Eric, Trevin, and Chet have them all the way down to number 9. The Lakers are between 6 and 9, so a little lower on the Lakers collectively compared to the other teams I just named. Arrow and I have them all the way down at number 9. Muvsy and Eric have them up at number 6. Then everybody has the Blazers at 10. It's that red strip. Everybody has the Blazers as the 10 seed. The Grizzlies, everybody has at 11 except Brendan, who has them at 12, and Muvsy, who has them down at 14. The Suns, everybody has between 11 and 14. Chat hates the Suns. They have them at 14. Got a couple of 12s, Brendan, Muvsy. A couple of 11s with Brendan, Muvsy. The Pelicans between 12 and 14. The Kings between 12 and 14. And then everybody has the Jazz at the bottom. Everybody hates the Jazz. All right. So now, what we will do is we will do award picks real quick. So let me just set that up. If it'll let me, hold on. Okay. I can finally close my laptop. All right, so first thing we're going to pick is MVP. Let me condense this somehow. All right. So we have myself. Whoops. Myself, Eric, Trevin. What order did I do it in? I don't remember. Doesn't matter. Trevin, Arrow, Brendan. Mosey, Connor, Chat. All right, sorry, just setting this up. Then we'll pick awards, and that will wrap up the stream. I'm going to do it like this. All right, there we go. All right. Damn. Computer. Thank you. All right. So here's what we're going to pick between. We got MVP, Sixth Man of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Most Improved Player, Let me not spoil Muvsy's predictions. Defensive Player of the Year. We'll do Coach of the Year. All right. That's what we got. All right, that's what we got. Starting with MVP picks. Eric is going with Nikola Jokic. Why'd Connor get knocked down to last today? Just spacing the names above the rows in the graphic, it made it easier to do it that way. Trevin's going with Giannis Antetokounmpo. Well, actually, maybe we can type out his full name. All right. Brendan went Nikola Jokic. Muvsy went Nikola Jokic. Connor went Luka Doncic, even though he just got hurt. Chat, name your names that you want in the chat poll. All right? I'll give you 4 names to choose between. Let's see. Arrow went Nikola Jokic. We're not going to take the Cavs fan saying Spida seriously, all right? MVP, all right. We'll do Nikola Jokic. We'll do Luka Doncic. Whoop, not Nokic. Jokic. All right, I'll do another option. I'll do Giannis. All right, chat, those are your options. Me? I'm going with Wemby. I'm going with Wemby. I had the Spurs at... Where did I even have the Spurs? I had the Spurs as my 4 seed. I think if he's healthy this year and takes a step, he's in MVP conversations. All right, that's what I'm rolling with. Gonna snub SGA like that? Well, if you want SGA, vote other. But right now, everybody's voting Jokic. You know what? Why don't I do the team colors too for fun? All right, we'll get it close. There we got Jokic. Here we got Giannis. Here we got. I'll do purple and yellow. And I have Wemby. All right. Let me do this all like that. Okay. 6th man of the year. 6th man of the year. This is where it gets interesting. Is Anthony Simons coming off the bench? We got some Jerami Grant in chat. We got Anthony Simons in chat. We got a Nas Reed. Jerami Grant's a funny one. Anthony Simons. Then who else do you guys want? You guys want the reigning 6th man of the year? I mean, well, he's starting, huh? Never mind. Tari Eason? Yeah, I guess he's plus. Josh Hart. All right, we'll do with Josh Hart. We got 3 former or current Blazers in there. Arrow's going Anthony Simons. Eric's going Anthony Simons. I mean, are we surprised? We are not surprised. That green is too light. I'll also go Simons. Let's see. Muvsy went with. I don't even know if this guy's coming off the bench, but if he is, it's a solid pick. Jaden Ivey. Chat, it's tied between Nas Reed and Jerami Grant. Jerami Grant takes the lead. We need picks from Connor, Brendan, and Trevin. I thought Hart started. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Scoot Henderson. I don't know if he's going to play enough games. Oh, we all went Anthony? Man, the homerism is crazy. Chat, it's tied. Next vote breaks the tie between Jerami Grant and Nas Reed. Will we get a Blazer? Yep, it's Jerami Grant for chat. I thought y'all hated Grant, man. What happened? What happened? All right. Rookie of the year. You know what I'm gonna do? Cooper Flag or other. If more than 50% are other, I'll open it up to Cooper Flag plus other names because it still might be Cooper Flag. I mean, I'm going Cooper Flag. Trevor went Flag. Muvsy went Flag. Eric went Flag. Arrow went Flag. Man, all right, you guys are voting the other. Who else do you want? Who else do you want in the poll? Connor went Flag. Brennan went Flag. Ace. Ah! Okay. I'm admittedly not an Ace Bailey fan, but he did have some good moments in preseason, so I respect it. My laugh was a joke. I see an Edgecomb. Alright, we'll do VJ Edgecomb. Anyone else? Trey Johnson? There's no way y'all seriously think Young's winning Rookie of the Year. Let them pick Young. I mean, alright, we gotta do a troll vote every freaking time for chat. Yep, here's the troll votes. Every year. Every year. Chat has to troll with one of their predictions, and this is it. This is it. Alright. You guys want to read what it says to the right? All right, most improved player. Here's where we're gonna get rich with the homer picks. Yeah, I'll put Shaedon Sharpe and Denny Avdia into the pool. Norman Powell, what? Honestly, I think Amen Thompson and what, Andrew Nemhard are the top two odds, so that's what we'll do. This is 4 out of the top 5 odds. My most improved player is going to be Andrew Nemhard. I feel like he's like a 19-6 guy next year, 20-6 with like elite defense, which kind of puts him in that conversation. He's gonna have to be given the Halley injury. I think he's gonna thrive with a bigger role. Gonzaga pick. Yeah, it's only more likely than Shaedon Sharpe and Denny Avdia. According to sports books. We got Amen Thompson for Brendan. Need to make that a different shade of red. Alright, here we go. Shaedon for Connor. Do y'all really think Shaedon's going to average 25 a game? Because that's pretty much what he has to do to win this award. I think that's a little too bold for my liking. Arrow went Amen. Eric went Shaedon Sharpe, which kind of confuses me given the stat predictions he's made for Shaedon Sharpe is not enough to win this award. All right, Mubsy went Andrew Nemhard. And chat is going Shaedon Sharpe. All right. Defensive player of the year. Who do you want in the poll? Chat on 3 places already. We're a good start. Yeah, for the 10th seed to have the rookie of the year, the 6th man of the year, and the most improved player, man. Because chat had him as a 10th seed. Wemby. All right, we'll put Evan Mobley. Is there anyone else you guys want in this poll? Let me know. I'm going Wemby. I mean, I picked him to win MVP, so. Connor went Wemby. Trevin went Wemby. Bam Adebayo. Okay. Rudy Gobert. All right. There's your options. Wemby for Trevin. Wemby for Brendan. And Wemby for Eric. Wemby for Arrow. Wemby for Mubsy. And Wemby for chat. All right. Clean sweep. I mean, he would have won it last year if he didn't get hurt. So, oh no, we're off the screen. And then Coach of the Year. All right, Coach of the Year. Chat, just type it in the chat. I don't want to do another poll. Whoever gets the most votes in the chat. But like, say the name of the coach. Also, don't say it more than once. All right, fine. I'm going to have to do a poll because... All right. Coach of the Year. We have Jamal Mosley. True talk out here spamming Eric Spoelstra, even though I asked not to spam. we got Jason Kidd, and we got Trevin. I know. I'm super high on the Magic, so I'm going to go with Jamal Mosley. Arrow can't spell diagonal. Eric going with David Adelman. I'm just going to assume I have that right, even though that's probably wrong. I just know there's lots of vowels in there. All right, Lovesy's Coach of the Year was also David Adelman. Connor went Jamal Mosley. Chat, it's tied between Udoka and Mosley. Brennan went Jamal Mosley. Trevin, what are you going with? Oh, JB Bickerstaff. And then chat is going with Jamal Mosley. All right. Whoops. No, I do not want that. Okay. So MVP, lots of Jokic's. I'm going Wemby. I think the Spurs are going to have a big year. Trevin's going Giannis. 6th man of the year, we got a lot of Anthony Simonses. Chat going with Jerami Grant. Muvsy going with Jaden Ivey. Rookie of the year, everybody's going Cooper Flag except Chat, who troll voted Young Hansen. Most improved player, lots of Shaedon Sharpes. It's between Sharpe, Amen Thompson, and Andrew Nemhard. Muvsy and I are going Nemhard. Brendan Narrow going Amen Thompson. Everybody else going Shaedon Sharpe. We got 4 votes for Sharpe. Defensive Player of the Year, clean sweep for Wemby. And then Coach of the Year, we got 4 on Jamal Mosley, 2 for David Adelman, 1 for Mark Dagnall, and 1 for JB Bickerstaff. And those are our predictions for the 2025-2026 NBA season. I will make a video at the end of the season looking back at these predictions, which will be a lot of fun. I always enjoy making that video at the end of the year. So looking forward to that and seeing who was the closest, who did the best. Before we get out of here, shout Sleeper. Use promo code Uprise. You get a free $20 entry. I mean, why would you not take advantage of a free $20 entry, especially with NBA season finally here? NBA season finally here. So as I boot up the app, we should finally have sleeper picks for the NBA, which we do. The Wembanyama, the Wemby picture is insane. The Wemby picture is insane on Sleeper's app. I'm looking at it right now. You have to go to Sleeper's app, go to the picks, sign up, use my promo code, and you'll see what I'm talking about with the Wemby picture. That's crazy. The Trae Young picture. They got some fun pictures on here, man. The Donovan Mitchell one. Yeah, you got to go check out Sleeper Picks. You got to use promo code Uprise. It will give you this free $20 entry on top of the 100% match up to $100 that you deposit. So you might as well take advantage of that. Let's see if they have any Jordan Poole. Let's see what they have for the Blazers tomorrow. I'll make picks tomorrow for that game. I plan on doing it. Shaedon Sharpe over or under 20.5 points. Drew Holiday over under 17.5 points plus assists. Denny over under 31.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Jerami Grant over under 13.5 points. I'd probably take the under on that. Klingon over under 20.5 points plus rebounds. And they got Toumani on there as well. All right, we're going to have to put together a Blazer parlay tomorrow. But if you guys put one together, let me know. Now's your time to take advantage of this free $20 entry to use promo code Uprise. NBA season's here. Let's get it. Let's get it. Anyway, we'll catch you tomorrow night on the postgame show. That'll be live like 30 minutes after the game, as I'm going to the game. So just hang tight after the game. We'll see if the Blazers can get a dub. The regular season is finally here. I can't believe it. My Mariners season ends and my Blazers season begins. I wish they were both going on at the same time. I'm never going to get over yesterday. But hopefully tomorrow's a better day. Hopefully the Blazers can take care of business. With that said, I'm out of here. Hopefully you guys have a good rest of your night. And until next time, as always, peace out. Go Blazers!